Hello YouTube. So after the first day of us pretty much bringing the website of Steam database down, then Path of Exile down, we finally managed to actually play the game. So after a few hours with the game played on my Monk, I wanted to show you like my journey so far on day 1. So I decided to go with the Invoker Monk, which I'm currently playing. Well, he's not Invoker yet since we didn't get to the Ascension part. I am level 15, we are almost done with Act 1, so I just wanted to show you like how I progress from the start, because I've seen a lot of people struggling, especially with melees and Monk to be specific. It is very rough, like compared to other classes you will have a bit of a difficulty getting adjusted to like how it is at the beginning, because honestly you will be playing more of a ranged than you're going to be playing as a melee. So I decided to focus on Invoker Monk, well, heavy focus on Chill and Frost, along with some Lightning, but as I said, the skills will slowly evolve, the build will slowly evolve. This was nothing like pre-planned, I'm just kind of going with the vibe. So for the early levels, as I said, Monk is having like real big difficulty actually getting on the enemy without getting like 2 hit and just generally clapped. What I did find out though, if you do plan to focus, like you can follow my build and you can totally play it with like a lightning based if you want to. There's like slight changes you can make into the skill tree, which I'm gonna go over in a bit, but Falling Thunder is so good on its own without ever like investing into it. It is so strong. Problem with this build, like with the Falling Thunder stuff, is you need power charges. Power charges are great when you're like fighting monsters around. So that one, like trash clearing, it won't be like that difficult if you get used to using a Killing Palm and Falling Thunder. It's literally the only two things that you will need for like trash clear. But once the bosses come in and there is no ads and there is no way for you to generate those power charges, then these 2 things are useless. So what I did find is like the combo that, well, now I switched to Ice Strike. I will talk about the Ice Strike a bit later, but Frozen Locus and Glacial Cascade is gonna be your best friends. So the way that the gameplay is gonna work, alright, since I switched to Ice Strike, let me just go back here, let me see, where is it, Glacial Cascade. It doesn't really matter what I have on it, it is just like the general gameplay. I want to show you what you're gonna be doing pretty much until you get to the Ice Strike. So,
Bitter chill.
As you can see, the way that it works is you have to put down the Frozen Locust, which puts like this kind of a like an icicle. The thing about this one, this is considered also like a minion, right? You need to destroy it, so every time this one is destroyed, you can attack it, enemies can attack it. As long as it's destroyed, it's gonna have like the explosion. So if you look under the skills here, if you look under the skills of a Frozen Locust, right, every time you destroy it, it does have a, it scales pretty well. Like this skill scales pretty well the explosion. So the base cold damage is not that much, but since the explosion does scale with your attack damage, it will do like significant. So what I have here is like supported the skills cause 50% more freeze build-up, glaciation. This one is like mandatory. On the bosses, this will pretty much, at the beginning of the game, is gonna freeze the bosses in 2 hits. If you crit, it's probably gonna freeze them in 1 hit. It is that strong. Like the freeze build-up on this one is insane. I took Ice Bite here mainly because of gaining 35% of damage as cold, because I do freeze a lot, right? You don't need to. There is like different options you can take for here. For example, you can take like a large range, so like your explosion has like a bit more of a radius. So that one is also a good option. You have the option as well for freeze to last a bit longer, because the way that Glacial Cascade works, the final attack, or well, the apex of the actual hit, so you see the icicle at the end, this is where like majority of the hit is, right? So you want to keep hitting the boss with that one, or like enemies, and that's the same reason why I would not suggest to like clear packs with this. As I am showing you like how to play against the packs, but honestly what you really want to do against the normal packs of enemies is pretty much like you can start with that one, it doesn't really matter what. You can use even the quarterstaff attack, I don't have it on my bars right now. So you want to get the enemies, yeah, now I'm one-shotting everything. But we need to get them low. Once you see their HP glowing in blue, that is when you can exit. Yeah, like this thing is so leveled up right now, it's killing everything. So we'll try. Incredible. Okay, fine. I'll put a quarterstaff. I just need like something basic so I can show you once the enemies get like low enough. Okay, there we go. So the entire gameplay is gonna be consisting of getting the power charges. As I said, like lightning build is mega strong if you can get the lightning charges. Like once you get the lightning charges, let me grab all of these. Just like one hit is pretty much enough to destroy everything. It is that power, like this skill is insane. Problem is like you can't generate them on the bosses. Like some bosses do have as, but not enough for it to like matter. Ooh, suffering, that's pretty good. That is actually pretty good. But yeah, anyway, let's get back to the build. So as I said, like your entire setup is gonna be like these two things. And a reason why this thing is not good for like mobbing in general, like you can use it for mobbing, don't get me wrong, but if you do get surrounded, glacials, like the glacial cascade does absolutely nothing to save you. Since I was not using anything else but just these two skills, most of my deaths occurred basically if I was getting surrounded, since this one didn't proc fast enough, because you need to break it. And if it has a weird hitbox though, right? Like if you hit it, if see for example here, it's like in order to break it takes forever. So because like your glacial cascade doesn't really do damage in front of you. As a melee skill, this is probably like the worst thing to have. Like I can't wait to actually like get rid of this skill, because I said it's a good skill, but you see there, like I basically already was like struggling like to get kill the mobs. Also like I need to get. Meanwhile, as you can see here, it was much easier to do it with falling strike. So there's one more thing that I could have done at the beginning. So I stopped using water strike literally as soon as I got to this two. But you can still keep that skill and focus on that one. So there is one different way you can like deal with both bosses. If you want to, like if you're not a big fan of Glacial Cascade at like a very early. So basically what you'll do, get 4 hits in with a quarterstaff, drop your bell. Now your bell is gonna be absolutely good though. The bell is insane. I haven't really used it all that much so far. The reason being, I was waiting for a ice strike. So if you see me here just for a second, I'm gonna switch to the ice strike. With the ice strike, it's still it's also the combo, like a combo weapon, right? So getting those and now it's like full frozen one. It's absolutely insane. Like once you get to level 14 and you unlock the ice strike, this build is definitely gonna start shining. Like then you don't even need to bell. Like this is literally the only thing you need to do. Your basic attack, and it has like a, as you can see, like it leaps a bit on enemies, which helps tremendously with like clear. So you don't really need anything else. Like for that one, for bosses, it's the principle is still the same. You want to drop the frozen locust, because this thing is nuts though. You want to keep fighting it, and as you can see, like I do have a blind proc. It's much easier to like destroy. Obviously, the best thing you could do is also like use the glacial cascade, because that one does like a significant amount of damage, especially on frozen enemies, because this glacial cascade, if you read the tooltip, it does like the final burst. Let me see here. Final burst. It does consumes freeze on enemies to deal 350% more damage. So this one is still like pretty huge hit, even without anything like equipped. Right now I do have a cold infusion on it, which honestly I'm not really sure. Should I like switch that to right now what I'm using is for ice strike is attack speed and final strike before. But as I said, since we are talking about like very early game, you want to focus on glacial cascade and frozen locust. So frozen locust, glaciation and ice bite is probably the best. If you don't like that one, you can put AoE instead of the ice bite, or you can just switch to freeze duration, like increase the freeze duration, but glaciation is like very important for this one, and you always want to have it on a frozen locust. That is it for that one. And for your, as I said, for your starter skill, if you are using you can use the quarterstaff until you get the ice strike. So what you will do here is you can use the martial tempo. Basically you can use the attack speed, and you can definitely use cold infusion, like cold infusion and martial tempo for attack speed. These two are gonna be pretty solid choice. Now you're gonna have like your quarterstaff is also gonna be able to like freeze. It won't do like do as much, but it's definitely gonna help. Now for the items themselves, right? This one is pretty straightforward. Obviously you have to have a quarterstaff. So this is probably the best thing you can do for your damage is this Glacial Rune. You will find them all over the place. They will start dropping. You want to keep one for your weapon. If you do get the orb to add a socket to your weapon, or if you find a weapon with a socket, make sure to do that. The best thing you can get to roll on your quarterstaff is gonna be 1 level 2 melee skills is good. Flat damage is king though. Any flat damage, any elemental flat damage is good. Obviously cold one would be the best, but as long as you get the flat damage is what you need. As much flat damage as you can get. There is also like one more good one to get is increased elemental damage with attacks. This one is pretty solid, but as I said, flat damage is the main thing that you want to look for your weapon. When it comes to other pieces, you can get melee skills as well on your gloves. I'm not really sure where else can I get it, but as you can see, like the gear itself, energy shield, evasion rating. Try to have a hybrid of both. Like right now, honestly, I'm just using whichever like drops. If it has like, but I prefer to have an energy shield as like another layer of defense. It is very good. It is very good, especially like you need everything, man. Life mandatory. The more life rolls you got, like the more like the better the build will feel. By the way, like your mana will absolutely be zero issue until you get a ice strike. Like this is where you start getting, you actually like start spending mana, but before that, if you're just using like Glacial Cascade and the Frozen Locust, your mana ain't gonna be an issue, so don't need to worry too much about that one. I did find that this one was my first unique. It's pretty good. Stat fights as well, as I said, I originally wanted to stack armor on my gear for the physical defense, but then I realized because we are playing, as you can see here, most of our skills are either blue or green, right? So the requirement start leaning heavily into the intelligence, which means that just using like either intelligence or dexterity gear for the requirement is much better. Also, like your staff requires quite a bit of dex and int as well, so keep that in mind. That goes for the gear. As I said, like for amulets, it's mainly about getting like the main stat, for example, getting like plus strength is very good, but obviously life and resistances is what you want. Life regen is also solid. Life regen is solid if you have like enough to survive, to not get like one tapped most of the time. But yeah, so as I said, energy shield, evasion, mix of both, doesn't really matter. I would like lean more into like energy shield, honestly, this early, because this extra layer does help. Life is mandatory as much as you can get it. The higher the roll, the better, obviously, and flat damage on weapons. That's pretty much it, and that won't change. Doesn't matter, like even in higher levels, that is still gonna be their priorities. Later on we're gonna be adding like a crit stuff, but right now we don't really worry about the crit. That concludes the equipment wise. Skill wise, alright, so here I haven't really like dabbled too much. As I said, I didn't do any pre-planning. This is just kind of going with the vibe. I'm focusing mainly, as I said, on defenses here. You can totally go like you have like options here with like attack speed, skill speed, attack damage, right? This one is totally fine. Like you can even zoom in here and grab these nodes for maximum evasion energy. This one, for example, right into this one, 5 dex int plus attack speed. This one is very good. Like you could potentially do that if you want to. For example, this is I went heavily into black power charges because I will be using them, right? But as I said, this is the primary one to go, so you follow the route of just taking the evasion ratings here until you reach the step like mist, which gives you even more intelligence and dexterity and movement speed and some mana regen. Then from here, we have like few options. Like this one, it does have like faster shield recharge and all that stuff is good, but since I'm not really focusing too much, as I said on it, and the freeze is gonna be like my thing. So freeze build up is huge. As I said, with at the beginning, once you get this node, couple of the first bosses are literally gonna be frozen all the time. Cast Frozen Locust, just keep spamming it though. You can, since bosses, if they hit, they will swing at you and they will destroy it pretty much in one hit every single time. So what you want to do is like make sure that they break it, drop another one, then break it, they drop another one. Keep doing that until they are frozen, or you can just like do this and press the Glacial Cascade, for example, like play a bit ranged, right? But you want to go in on the boss, and as soon as the boss is frozen, you want to be at like a range, so you proc that freeze with your staff. That's why I said, like, if you take a freeze duration of Frozen Locust, it's gonna give you like enough time, because they're not really frozen for all that long. And remember, you can't proc the explosion or like kind of the execute with Glacial Cascade, only the final hit. So it's very gimmicky. That's why I'm not a big fan of playing like Glacial Cascade. Like the damage is great once you hit, but it's very gimmicky to hitting like at the apex of the skill. So yeah, from here, so yeah, we have like options to go here, magnitude, increase the magnitude of chill, freeze build up. Like eventually I'll go like this part of the tree as well, but the primary, what I want to get is pretty much this entire tree looks like absolutely great. You have increases defense with the staff. I don't think, don't know if this is like a wording. Will this even work for us? Even if it doesn't, freeze build up is still great with quarterstaffs. So here we have power charges, quarterstaff skills that consume power charges count as consuming an additional power charge. Like this one is gonna be absolutely great. So this is my main priority to get. And obviously we can get like some cool stuff like accuracy. We are still like melee build, so we are gonna need to like go into accuracy for a bit. I will be updating, as I said, like my journey as we go, but so far this is how the tree is looking. I am level 15, as I said. I went for the blinding strike because having 10% chance on blind enemies, so they have less accuracy and evasion rating, so it's pretty good. Like if they miss, you don't get one tap, so there's that also. Like my next one is most likely gonna be the elemental one to get even more magnitude of chill. So the way that magnitude of chill works, I'm pretty sure it's just so each time you hit an enemy, right? Each time you hit an enemy with a frost damage, based on the amount of frost damage you do, is translated directly into the chill. So like the stronger the attack, like the damage wise, the stronger the chill will be. And magnitude just amplifies that, because it's not always like it's not like if you hit for 100 damage, for example, you're gonna like transfer like all 100 damage of that to chill, right? There is like a certain percentages, and that basically makes it so you each time you like hit an enemy with the same attack, if you have higher magnitude, you're gonna do more chill with the same attack. And that is pretty much it for this guide. If you guys found this helpful, make sure to like and subscribe. I will be live most of the time these days, so if you have any questions regarding the build, to see how the build is progressing live, or have any questions, make sure to drop on my Twitch or on my YouTube. For now, salute and goodbye.